especially for that wonderful introduction. I'm not sure how much of it is true. Respected Principal, Mr. Bora, Amrita ma'am, Maushami ma'am, because she just told me her name, other members of the faculty, and my dear students. Thank you very much for inviting me for this interactive lecture series that you have vis-a-vis. I feel very honored, and I also feel very humbled at the same time. It's a great privilege for me. I was just telling your principal here that I still don't consider myself, as a person who can actually be on this side. Because, I've been a student for so long, I keep feeling that I should be somewhere there and listen to someone else. But anyway, thank you very much, and since I'm here, I did a lot of thinking about what kind of a topic. In fact, I spoke to Rahul and I asked him, what exactly do you want me to speak about? And there was another lady that I spoke to, and then she told me, no, you talk about yourself and talk about how you've become successful. And I was like, I've just started my service, it doesn't seem very successful. So then I kept on thinking what I should talk to you about. So I thought maybe I should talk to you about civic responsibility. But today in the morning when I was speaking to your principal and Amrita ma'am and also some of the students who were there, that's when I realized that, this is one topic I don't think anybody has talked about. So I'm making it my mission to talk about it, and the topic that I want to speak about is why should we join the government? I don't think anybody would actually think about this too much, but I have given it a lot of thought, and that is why I am where I am here today. Not a lot of thought in that sense, because when I was studying, I was doing a PhD when I got through the UPSC. So I was thinking that I would get into research or something like that. But after I joined the government, in hindsight, I have this whole idea that actually I should have thought about this and maybe prepared for this even in advance.
It's nothing to do with any information. It's about you are so beautiful. And after listening to you, you sound beautiful inside as well. I would just like to know, in the midst of those policemen, how do you fare? You must be having a tough time.
For policing?
Yeah, and being with all those men.
No, thank you for that question. It's not very often that women make me blush, but sure, here we are. In the police, I'll just recount most of my experiences. Once you join the National Police Academy, you're just so tired doing the horse riding and the swimming and the running and the drill, and of course your indoor classes of law and other criminology and forensic medicine and forensic science, that nobody really has time to figure out what is happening, And in the police academy, unlike say other organizations, in the IPS academy, which is there in Hyderabad, the gender-based difference of training is not there. So the standards, even the physical standards, are exactly the same, except for 2 or 3 things. One is that for push-ups, you can put your knees down. The girls can put their knees down. For running, you get 10 kilometers, you get 5 minutes extra than the boys' timing. And instead of jump and reach, you can do, skipping your rope. And that's it. Rest, all criteria is pretty much the same. And let me tell you, most women actually come in the men's excellent timing, Most of the women come in that time itself. So there is not much of a problem there. The second part is once you join the service, perhaps in other cadres, but I am not competent enough to answer. I am Assamese, I am from Guwahati, and when I joined, I came to Assam cadre, and in Assam, there is no gender difference. In fact, there is probably, to a large extent, at least in my family, there is more importance of women than for men, at least. My parents are very unhappy that I have a son, so they were very unhappy when it was a boy. They were like, why isn't a girl? Everybody's waiting for a girl. So in Assam police also, because of the society that we have, mostly so in the entire Northeast India, in the police organization it's all men, but they don't have this concept of gender in their head. They don't try and make life easier for me. In fact, once you prove yourself, like the first time you prove yourself that yes, you can work with them and you don't have, say, issues. Because see, like policing is something which is a very negative part of society. Let's face it. Okay, I have already made peace with the fact that most people will not like me. In fact, most people will hate me because I'm a policeman. I'll be telling you, you can't do this, you can't do that. If you do this, I'll arrest you. So, it's a very negative thing. So then, in policing, what happens, we deal with dead bodies, we deal with crime, we deal with all of these negative things. And, we are taught in the academy that once you go to the cadre, if there's a dead body, no matter how old it is, please don't cover your nose because, it gives a wrong impression to the juniors. So once you start working with them and showing them that you don't have any disgust or any other feeling except for what is scientifically required for you to investigate the case, I think they also accept you. And especially in Assam Police, they accept you really fast. So I don't think gender is a problem here at all. Thank you. So you either do it with them, your family or your friends or peers, you go with them, you go without them, or you go in spite of them. But you have to go. That's it.
It's been a privilege watching you.
Thank you.
Okay, so my question is, I got a job now, but I want to go for UPSC. So what would you suggest that should I leave it and study completely, give a drop and study for UPSC, or should I do the job and study side by side? I know it's all about time management, but I really love your opinion.
Okay, well, so let me give the lowdown for the UPSC exam per se. When I gave it in 2005, because I'm a 2006 batch officer, the scheme was a bit different. It is different now, but pretty much the same structure. You have a preliminary examination in May, and then you have a mains in October and in November, and then you have the interview in about April. In fact, now I think the results of last year's mains are going to come and then people are going to sit for the interviews. The number of subjects has changed. You should look at the upsc.gov.in website. In fact, in that you have all the subjects and all the syllabus of the subject. Choose whatever you like because there are things which are scoring, there are things which are, in fact, most of the science subjects are quite scoring. Then when you have the written examination, you will have the essay and whatever. So suppose you have chosen, say, maths as your preliminary subject, and later on also in the mains you have maths as your main subject. But you will be doing the essay and you'll be giving the English paper and everything. So it's sort of like rounded. I'm talking about science subjects because I'm assuming most of you are here because you are in science subjects. I doubt if somebody is here from outside. The thing about the UPSC exam is one of the toughest, and the problem is, I think, cracking the general knowledge paper. So for that, you'll have to read quite a lot. In fact, in our time, we had to pretty much read as many newspapers and journals that we could. There are certain coaching centers which do quite well. I'm giving you a very honest opinion here. Coaching centers are there which actually cut down that whole big syllabus of general knowledge to something which is possible for students to study and memorize. Because you see, the examination will be two types, right? The preliminary examination is a multiple choice, and your mains examination is a long answer writing type. So the kind of memory that you would be using while giving the exam, if you're giving your prelims, you will be using recognition. The answers will be there in the question paper itself. It's an MCQ. So you just have to choose the right answer and not the wrong one. Whereas you need a retention kind of memory for writing your mains. So you'll have to study that ways, and you'll have to find out what you are good in, whether you're good in recognition or in retention. So, and if you're not good, you'll have to kind of balance and put more focus on that. The thing is, the syllabus is very vast. So it will take you roughly about 2 years to finish coaching, because coaching finishes about March. So the exam is in May. So from March to May, if you're exceptionally bright, I'm sure some people have done it, it's not that they haven't. But I'm just talking about the average student like me. So if you're not exceptionally bright, then what will happen these 2-3 months is too little for you to assimilate all the information that you have received in the coaching class from October to March. You know, so you'll have to then take some more time to read and study and remember, and then refresh yourself the next year and then give the exam. So in that, like, you answered your own question yourself. You said it's all about time management. It is about time management. You'll have to figure out how you want to do it. You know, like for me, like sports was always very important. So even when I was studying for this exam, I would go and do a run in JNU or something.